Hello, hello, hello. Just a hello to you, Titans. No one else. Ever. Alright, guys. I got until Tuesday to finish this stuff up. Let's, whoa, we have light problems. Hang on, we're gonna switch over here. Fix this up just real quick. Bam! Light problems solved. There we go. Much better. So.
Lieutenant, hang tight for a sec while we clear the entrance.
Oh, shoot, I meant to.
Lock the door. Set the bomb.
No! No! Billy! Jimmy! Bobrikins!
Unauthorized entry detected.
Murbagadude.
We're in. This room's cleared.
Where does it hurt?
I like how they give you Duran and,
What do you
like,
need?
two
You got it.
medics to hang out with him. No, I don't, Sean. There, see? There's nothing here. There's nothing here. I just realized I forgot a drink. I'm gonna go get a drink really quick. I'm gonna do this! We're gonna make this work! It's gonna happen! Oh, God. So I gotta share this. A friend of mine was like, "Hey, I like to keep track of tech stuff, and did you know there's a fridge, a Darth Vader fridge you can get for a few $100s?"
You got it.
Yeah, pretty much gross. I really hate to just chain cheat, but you guys voted for chain cheating. That's exactly.
How do you work this damn thing? Computer, locate Admiral Stukov.
Access code denied.
So this is actually a surprisingly funny mission,
I hate computers.
Of course.
which is hilarious considering this is also one of the most tragic missions in Brood War. I'd say the second most tragic mission. Oh, I have a virtual ticket Ventures. I've been watching it from the moment it started. So yes, I know all of the BlizzCon things.
Of course. Right away.
What's up? Where's Stukov? Don't tell those traitors anything, Harry. Wax 'em, boys. Help!
You got it. Of course.
Yes, British. But I mention it because there's also a R2-D2 fridge, which you can be like, and it'll go, and it'll slowly make its way over here, and they're like, aha! And you can grab a drink, and then you can send it back. Warcraft trailer reaction.
Right away.
I'm pretty excited for the movie,
I'll take care
but the
of it.
trailer was really generic.
Out of here.
It literally looked like the kind of generic trailer you'd make as a joke. It just hit all of the standard points. Nothing else much to say about that.
Another computer. Says hit any key. Well, which one's the any key?
Security cameras activated. Goliath repair bay located in Sector 4.
If we can get over there, we might be able to hijack those Goliaths.
Yeah, I don't intend to cheat at all in Starcraft 2. I as much as I'm only going to have like
Your forces
3
are
days
under
to push
attack.
through them. The goal is to beat Brood War tonight. I don't know if we're going to actually manage that. So yeah, this is a wonderfully hilarious mission with lots of little jokes and funny stuff in it. And then the thing that happens at the end of the mission, which is just horrible.
Access code denied.
Hey, who's messing with the computers? Oh, give me the damn access codes before I blow an aggression inhibitor. I ain't telling you nothing.
Right away.
Well, we've
You
blown
got
an
it.
aggression inhibitor, guys.
I'll take care of it. Right away.
Wait, I'll tell you. It's, Barnum.
Access code accepted.
Thanks.
I'll take care of
Oops.
Security cameras activated.
God, this mission.
Vice Admiral Stukov detected in Sector 8.
Yes, Zed, I do. That is going to continue. Ah.
Hey, boys. We could sure use those Goliaths. Get over there and commandeer them. Intruders! Alert the Goliath pilot!
It'll never happen, Reaper, by which I mean it'll happen in a few weeks.
I'll take care of it.
Right
away.
So, ironically, I don't actually have much to say about this mission other than the fact that it's awesome. You guys know how I've been asking the question this whole time. Favorite mission, least favorite mission. This is... Oh, excuse me. This is one of my favorite missions in Terrans of Brood War. This is a really good one. This is probably my favorite... Actually, there's no probably. This is absolutely my favorite dungeon mission in Starcraft. Like, original and Brood War, both. Absolutely.
Channel open. Acknowledged.
Not just because of the humor side of things, but because of... Well, we'll get there. Yes, Kemek, I'll be doing a separate stream just for talking about BlizzCon later, as requested by you guys.
Of course. I'll take care of it. Of course.
It's okay, guys. The Goliaths will work out. I swear. This is funny.
Hey, you! Get over here with that SCV and repair our Goliath. Don't shoot! I'll do it!
That's right. We just bullied a man into repairing us.
You got it.
Keep in mind, all these people here are UED troops who are loyal to Stukov. Who are, being attacked by UED troops who are loyal to... Well, that's a good question, actually. Who are these troops loyal to that we're leading right now? Because we know for a fact we're not actually... Okay, based on the way this mission structure works, the captain is not actually here. And that's relevant. It means the only people here in this facility are Duran and Stukov. Now, Duran has a comm unit that leads up to De Gaulle. That's significant for something that we'll talk about in just a little bit.
Your forces are under
It also helps to explain why things turn out the way they do, basically.
I'll take care of it.
Yes, sure do. They are loyal to you. Us.
Of course.
Wow, I'm amazed I haven't gotten 50,000
You got it.
BlizzCon questions already. You can do it, guys! You can navigate the stairs!
Right away.
So I remember having to do this to force them up the stairs.
Got it. Right away.
Come on, you can do it, you can do it. You can do it.
care
There you go, there you
away.
go.
Yes, Captain. You got it.
Yeah, I know, Samurai, you were actually in the chat.
I'll take care of it.
I even put in the stream title, I'll accept BlizzCon questions, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask them regardless, so I might as well just make it official. Alright, so...
Yes, Captain.
In my opinion, this is one of the most tragic scenes in Brood War. In fact, this actually may be the most tragic scene in Brood War. Yeah.
I'll take care of it. Vice Admiral Stukov, I am here under orders to terminate your command.
Lieutenant Duran, I'm not surprised. We both know exactly what it is that you're here to terminate. Get on with it.
Say goodnight, Stukov.
To hell with you.
Lieutenant Duran, report your situation immediately.
Gerard, old friend, you do indeed have a traitor in your midst. But it's not me. Duran. He has been playing us both from the start. He convinced you to destroy the Psi Disruptor, even though it was our best chance at defeating the Zerg. And then on Ire, he allowed the Zerg to overrun us even as we had the fugitives in our grasp. I came here to activate the one hope we have of defeating them. And you killed me for it. Duran is your enemy, Gerard. I suspect that he may even be infested as well. Use the disruptor, Gerard. Finish our operation. Let my death have at least some meaning.
Alexei! No, what have I done? What have I done? Computer, where the hell is Lieutenant Duran?
The lieutenant no longer registers on my sensors, Admiral. He appears to have vanished.
No.
Self-destruct sequence initiated. Sir, the disruptor's power core has just been set to overload. In order to prevent meltdown, you will need to reach the manual override terminal and shut the reactor core down.
It must have been Duran. You men serve the Vice Admiral loyally. I ask that you continue to serve his memory by keeping this disruptor in one piece. Now get going and find that override terminal.
Adjutants are kind of a different thing. I haven't actually talked about those yet, have
Go
I?
ahead, TACOM.
So Stukov,
Acknowledge HQ.
well, we'll talk more about him later. One thing I do like quite a bit, though,
Acknowledge HQ.
Stukov and Dugal both are an excellent way to showcase that the UED are not actually all evil. They are a fascist, horrible organization. We've already talked about that. And yet, in Dugal and in Stukov both, we see people who
Our
are
installation walls
humans.
have been breached, tracking multiple Zerg signals throughout the side disruptor's interior.
What the hell? How did Zerg get in here? Captain, we may have a huge infestation problem.
We're not
Proves that
taking
Duran's
requests.
Working with the Zerg. Captain, don't let a single Zerg stand in your way. We need this disruptor now more than ever. TACOM locked.
Yeah, no kidding, Hanson. We'll be talking about that pretty soon. That is correct, Andre. It's the same guy.
Designated.
Basically, Lateralis, there will be a post on Patreon, which will be like, hey, make your requests here. Yeah, it'll basically be called The Floodgates Are Open. That's pretty much exactly right. So, God, I just love this whole scene. I'm sorry, I have so many things to talk about. So, the note that Dugal was trying to contact
Security cameras activated.
Duran through the community that Duran had.
How the hell are we gonna get by all them Zerglings?
TACOM locked.
And that's how he was able to find out about the treachery, because Stukov, for whatever reason, was not permitted to actually just send his own, communication up and be like, hey, guys,
Acknowledge HQ.
Not yet, Kamek. Personally, I think Duran was going to leave the UED regardless of his color being blown, because he had accomplished his mission. He was done. He had accomplished all that he wanted to do. And remember, that mentality of throw it away once you're done with it is very prevalent here. Once you're done, who gives a crap? Move on.
Go ahead, TACOM. Target designated.
The voice actor who does Stukov is brilliant in this game. He puts a lot of simple human emotion into his tone. And as much as I want to punch Dugal in the face, I feel for him when he's just like, no,
Target designated.
no, Lieutenant Computer, where the hell is Lieutenant Duran? You can hear in the
This
actor.
corridor has been lined with defensive autoguns. If we can lure the Zerg in here, they'll be cut to shreds.
Confirmed.
You can hear in the voice actor's voice just how distraught he is, how horrified he is about the very idea of what has happened to his friend, and the fact that he is directly responsible for his death. And one thing I will give Dugal, he knows in that moment, and he never lets go of the fact that he is responsible for this. He killed Stukov.
I love the smell of toasted Zerglings in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. You really feel that there is an actual friendship there. I love the simple humanity of Dugal. As much as Dugal pisses me off, this is another reason why, especially on replaying this, I'm starting to think that Dugal wasn't an idiot so much as he was actually mind-controlled. Because, and no kidding, Dugal. Because it really feels like, from this point on, he just, like, turns around. Like, he suddenly stops being an idiot, he suddenly starts thinking about things, and he feels genuine remorse for his actions and is ready to push forward and try to make up for things. This especially comes back through in the very final mission, when he goes up against Kerrigan, against the Queen of Blades. You can really feel that he has manned up, for lack of a better way to put it. So again, I really like the idea that he was actually mind-controlled, that Dugal isn't actually that terrible of a leader or a person. Who knows if it's true or not? I mean, the idiot ball is all over the place in Brood War, so it's entirely possible that's all it is. Shrug. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. I don't know. Oh god. I also like how, one of the things Duran does here is brilliant in its subtlety. He sets the self-destruct on the side disruptor, and yet he fully goes out of his way to ensure that his cover is blown. I mean, he does it very obviously and very openly.
Poor Johnny.
Poor Johnny. He does it very openly. He does it very obviously. And then, that's also very possible, Henson. He says that himself, too, for that matter. And then he tries to destroy the stride disruptor in, like, the most obvious and overt way possible. And it also ensures that there's tons of opposition ready to defeat him. In other words, to make my statements less circumspect or whatever, I think that Duran specifically did this as a feint. That this is a feint attack. This is not what Duran is actually after. Since Duran's motives and means are actually forwarded by the existence of the side disruptor. So. And like Henson said, it is actually very possible that the idiot ball is something in lore, not in writing. See, the idiot ball refers to bad writing, just to make that clear. The idiot ball is always bad writing. It is possible that Dugal doesn't have the idiot ball, that he is simply too prideful. And again, he does actually say that himself. He does freely admit that he is way too prideful, and his pride killed Alexei. Note he calls him Alexei, not Stukov. And that his pride has killed him, too. Killed himself. And, yeah. Anyways, Ventures, yeah, Duran is working for Amon, or himself, depending on how you want to define that. I also like the structure of this mission. The first half is entirely comical. The second half is deadly serious, and a race against the clock, no less. This is brilliant juxtaposition, by the way. There's no timer in the first half, and no difficulty. The first half of the mission is a joke. Even if I wasn't playing with cheats on, I would just be like, doo-doo-doo-doo. Yep. Casually pushing through. The second half of the mission is really hard. You have to be careful. You have good micro. You have to be you have to maneuver and strategize, and you have a clock ticking the entire time. You have a deadline. So the feeling between the two halves of this mission are, and lighthearted fun, and then oh god. One last thing I want to point out though, I love. Like I said, Zed, he is not a good tactician, in my opinion. He might be a good manager, but he's not a good tactician. I like... damn it, I keep losing my train of thought. I'm getting old, guys. Juxtaposition and the tension of the second half. Oh, right, Stukov. I love the fact that Stukov showcases kind of the mentality of the person underneath the soldier, if that makes any sense. It's kind of a hint that if they ever do add the UED back into the story, and the writers themselves have said flat out they very much want to, the UED will not be a universal evil. Stukov certainly was a pretentious bastard, and he worked for a very evil organization, and yet his final request is that his death have some meaning. His last regret is that he is dying for effectively no purpose, and he wants to have it make a difference. I like that because even though... Oh, Matt Horner's awesome. I like it because even though he is... It makes him human, for lack of a better term. It doesn't make him a bad guy. It doesn't make him a good guy. It makes him a person. Someone who has good, has bad, has contradictions within themselves, just like we do. We are not uniform creatures. And so I like that last speech that Stukov gives. And it gets me every time I hear it.
Go, go, go. Rock and roll.
Reactor core shutdown sequence initiated.
And that's an interesting point, Ashura. We'll talk about that in a moment.
I want the side disruptor kept on full power around the clock. I'll leave a garrison here to protect it as well. Prepare the fleet to move out. We are going to the planet Char to claim that cursed overmind. And may heaven help Duran for what he has done this day.
Portugal. Now, one last point here. As Assure points out, the UED fleet never makes it back to report their findings. Remember, the UED was able to keep up-to-date information on the Caprulu sector without people being out here, recent as an absolute maximum of 1-year-old information. In other words, I guarantee you that the UED is aware of the loss of their fleet. It may take them a little while, but they're going to be aware of it. There's actually some implications based on things we see in this that they basically have subspace communications. In other words, very fast communications. So it may take a few months. May take a few months for the messages from the fleet to get back to Earth, but they will get there. And don't forget that one of those messages includes a personal letter from Dougal himself, which we'll be seeing at the end of this game. Very true, Baronessa. So I think this is the last Terran mission. This one's a brutal one. This one's damned hard.
Captain, with the Psi Disruptor's signal hampering the Zerg's communications to one another, the swarms over Char have scattered in disarray, allowing the fleet to penetrate to the planet's surface. However, there is still a considerable number of defenders nestled around the fledgling Overmind.
Alexei was right. The Disruptor is the key to victory here. If I had destroyed the machine as Duran suggested, we would never have made it this far. Nevertheless, the time is upon us, Captain, to do what we came here for. We will claim the Overmind in the name of humanity.
Be advised, Captain. Our sensors have identified 3 Cerebrates who constitute the core of the Overmind's defenses. Each Cerebrate's distinct capabilities are still unknown, so proceed with extreme caution.
Launch your forces, and let not a Zerg survive. Once you have reached the Overmind and crushed its defenders, you are to send in specially trained medics who will pacify the creature with potent neurostim drugs. Only then will our victory be assured. And Captain, remember that Duran is still out there somewhere. I'd venture a guess that his treachery has only just begun. Be careful, and good luck. I am sure that this will be our finest hour.
So, really quick here. I actually agree with that idea, Takoida, personally. Zed, actually, it wouldn't surprise me if we do have something very similar to that, or just binary is also possible. So this is a fun mission. This is actually probably my second favorite.
Base is under attack.
Sir, these sunken colonies aren't being affected by anything we hit them with. I'll bet there's one of those cerebrate critters pumping it full of energy nearby.
So here's how this works. Each of the Cerebrates here has a separate power to it. One of these makes it so their units are literally invincible.
Base is
You'll notice they don't even have health listed. Right there, you see that? No health listed. The other Cerebrate creates the Tarask. Yes, the Tarask, although not the one from Faerun, but it obviously inspired by that one. So this is another one of those missions that Brood War is so good at. In other words, big ol' enemy base. What am I doing?
Base is under attack.
Yeah, no kidding, Groat. I try to remember all the cheats here. Big ol' enemy base. Actually, you're against 4 separate enemy encampments. And they have gimmicks on top of the fact that they just outgun you like crazy.
Base is under attack. Base is under attack.
Jacked up and good to go.
Base is under attack.
Yes, correct. We are fighting up against Dagoth. I don't remember if they name him, but we do know that this is Dagoth and other rogues like him. Oh, right.
Base
Let's see, I have a
is
couple
under
of things to
attack.
talk about, so let's just... I know, we're on a deadline. God, I hate cheating like this. We did this during the Frozen Throne and Warcraft Lorerun. You remember that?
Base is under attack.
Yeah, this is a mean mission. The enemy is just pretty much flat out cheats for half of this mission.
Base is under attack.
And thank you, Lurker. I do appreciate it. I really do. So, one of the things I find interesting is the
Base
idea...
is under attack. Upgrade.
Shut up. Do you think, and this is a genuine question to you guys, do you think the UED could have maintained control over the Overmind indefinitely or not? Now, let me explain a little bit what I mean by this. On the one hand, it's actually very likely that the UED would eventually simply cease to be capable of keeping control of the Overmind, because of the fact that the Overmind would eventually grow and just move beyond their constraints. Remember, the original Overmind was very limited initially, and over time it grew. It was subjective to the droid effect, and over time gained sentience, gained sapience, and the ability to think for itself, right? So right now, yeah, they absolutely. I find it totally believable. Some people I know look at the fact that the UED, excuse me, the Directorate, has control over the Overmind, and they're just like, oh, that's ridiculous and stupid. But it makes perfect sense to me because of the fact that it's a very tenuous control. It takes them a great deal of effort to maintain, and it's a fledgling Overmind. It's an Overmind that is literally brand new. This would not have, ironically enough, worked if this was the original Overmind. It wouldn't have worked at all. The original Overmind, in addition to being a sentient sapient being, was ridiculously powerful psionically. So, yeah, there's no way in hell that would have actually maintained. And, of course, that's ignoring Duran, the Queen of Blades, the Terran Dominion, and all the other dozens of factors involved. Whoops, yeah, we need to go after this one first, sorry. So, yeah, no, I absolutely think that while the Terran Dominion could maintain control short-term, the question is, could they long-term? Now, to a little further elaborate on what I mean by that long-term thing, I like how the Spore colonies are attackable, but the Sunkens are not, by the way. Again, this is actually really good design. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Remind me to talk about good design. Scroll. So, either... Well, it depends, British. We don't actually have a good answer for that, so we don't know. But either the UED would be able to keep adapting and learning new technology in order to keep the Overmind under control even as the Overmind grew stronger, or eventually the Overmind would outgrow the constraints of the UED and grow sentient. I feel like these are the two most likely consequences of this action. Ignoring external influence. That's the important part, ignoring the external influence. Because, you know, again, Duran and the Queen of Blades and the Protoss and, you know, everything else.
Base is under attack.
Goodbye. Zerg do not...
This cerebrate's been whacked. We shouldn't have any more trouble with those sunken colonies.
We know at least a fairly large amount of it was Venters, so I think a decent chunk about it. Talk about design. Thank you, Henson. I actually had space for a second. So, design. This is a brilliant mission. Really, it is. You notice the red AI has gone completely dormant now that we've taken out the Cerebrate, which is nice. Not fully consistent with lore, but very consistent gameplay-wise, because it actually enables you to be rewarded for success. It makes it so, again, rather than having the game objective of take out all enemies, take out all buildings, it enables you to be very specific with your strategy. Make a strategy to kill that one building, and that wins against the rest of them. It's the linchpin problem. And again, that is true for the Zerg. Oh, that's funny you bring that up, Nerozaz. I'll be talking about that in a moment. The short answer is they can't.
Battle cruiser operational. Hailing frequencies open. Receiving transmission.
Okay, the other great design thing, though, is this mission is designed to steer you in a direction. Both of your bases are completely surrounded by invincible sunken colonies. That's the first gimmick, the invincible sunken colonies. And yet, they have virtually no air defenses. I don't know how much of you saw of this base before I assaulted it. It had like 3 spore colonies and that's it. Or yeah, 3 spore colonies. That's freaking it. So you could actually, basically the mission is telling you, hey, jump to air. And they actually reward you for going to air while at the same time having more air defenses, normal amounts of air defenses elsewhere, to kind of encourage you to go after red first, right?
Your forces are under attack.
Then, of course, we've got brown over here, who has a slightly different gimmick. At least I actually can't remember which color is which, so we'll just move forward until we see it. Yes, Night Forger. That is well past already happened. Let me just turn down the sound a little bit here.
Your forces are under attack.
Take it slow.
We will be doing the secret mission. I don't remember how to trigger it, but I'll be triggering it, absolutely.
Set a course.
So, why is the Cerebrit not an issue? There's only two possibilities here. One, the Cerebrit is actually dead because it can't be resurrected by the Overmind because there is no real Overmind. There's just the fledgling Overmind. So that's the first possibility. In other words, you can kill a Cerebrit because the only thing that you needed... The only reason you needed the Dark Energies from the Dark Templar to kill a Cerebrit before was specifically to prevent... the resurrection. They still could be killed just fine. Are we with me? So, the first possibility is the fledgling Overmind can't resurrect them. The second possibility, which is also possible, is the fledgling Overmind can resurrect them, but it takes time, just like it took before. So, in other words, we're only trying to reach the Overmind. Taking out the Cerebrit takes it out temporarily, which is enough for our for our purposes in mind. All we have to do is weaken it, and then reach the Overmind. Make sense? Aha, so I just need to do the Zerg mission fast enough? Got it. I think I remember that. Yeah, okay, that's the Rashagal one, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I remember that one.
We've 86 this Cerebrit. We shouldn't run up against any smacked up Ultralisks anytime soon.
So you don't even see it because it's a timer spawn, but basically, Brown here would occasionally spawn the Tarask, which is the hero Ultralisk, which would just wreck face. It's actually, in my opinion, one of the hardest aspects of this mission is dealing with the Tarask attacks, because they come fairly regularly until you manage to crawl your way into Brown. And unlike Red, Brown doesn't have any deliberate weaknesses. So again, good game design. Red has a deliberate weakness to give you a starting point and a decent expansion point. Brown has no deliberate weaknesses and is slowly hammering you the entire time. And Orange is constantly spawning infested Terrans, which just spam the crap out of you. I'm not actually sure why I haven't gotten hit by them yet. I'm guessing we just haven't been playing the mission long enough. And Orange is very well defended compared to the other two. So far, Overwatch looks like an amazing game that I support and am hugely in favor of, especially since it's Blizzard's first new IP in a very long time. And I'm always in favor of new IPs, and I'm always in favor of them trying new ideas, and I feel like Blizzard games in general have a large amount of polish, so I would almost guarantee that Overwatch is going to have a large amount of polish. And I will probably not be buying it unless it has a single player or a campaign mode, because I'm just not that interested in a purely competitive game.
Receiving transmission. Reporting for duty.
That's a good question, Hanson.
Captain, we've reached the perimeter of the Overmind's nesting area. We can launch the med team at any time, sir.
Receiving transmission.
Well, considering he was already using the dark side as early as Return of the Jedi, that wouldn't surprise me too much. On the one hand, it does seem kind of obvious, though, as weird as that sounds. Then again, the Khan thing was pretty obvious too, so who knows. Actually, HOTS is a co-op game, Ventures. I don't play a purely multiplayer competitive like that. Now that being said, it is also possible that Overwatch will have a competitive, or a co-op mode, like Heroes does. It is also entirely possible that Overwatch will be frickin' amazing. It does look pretty good so far. They've been really impressing me with the Overwatch stuff so far. The other thing is I actually enjoy the MOBA style of gameplay. It's just never been done in a way that I enjoyed before, as weird as that probably sounds. That being said, I actually do enjoy FPSs. I used to play FPSs competitively in the Unreal Tournament era, back when Unreal Tournament was pretty new.
Where does it hurt? State the nature of your medical emergency.
And ready for an awesome cutscene? I absolutely love the overall quality of the cutscenes in Brood War. This is no exception.
I'm on the job.
Captain, the medics are in place and are administering the neurostim treatments to the Overmind.
Notice the purple color.
Excuse me, Admiral, but I'd like to introduce someone to you.
You ran? You son of a bitch. What's the meaning of this?
Admiral de Gaulle, I've heard a lot about you.
What the hell are you?
I am Kerrigan. The Zerg you've killed here, and the Overmind which you've come to collect, are mine. As is our mutual friend, Lieutenant Duran. You see, Admiral, there are a number of groups in this sector who feel that your involvement here causes certain complications. My associates and I intend to make sure that your reign is short-lived.
You may find that difficult, you abomination. Seeing as how I possess the means to disrupt your control of the Zerg.
Ah, you're referring to your vaunted Psi Disruptor. It won't last you forever, Admiral. Sooner or later, I'll destroy it. Then I'll show you what the Zerg are really capable of. Oh, and by the way, Admiral, your friend Stukov was twice the man you are. I'm glad you saved me the trouble of having to kill him.
That quote right there is very, very indicative of the Queen of Blades, as opposed to, I'll probably do votes, Sigma. That is very indicative of the Queen of Blades. It's the kind of thing she would only say if she was trying to get under Dugall's skin, for no other reason. Basically, there's no benefit to doing so other than screw you. I also find it. I do find one thing interesting though that just makes me wonder. I doubt this is true, but it does make me wonder if the plans for Stukov were already basically being made at this point in time. That, in other words, they already knew they were going to do further work with Stukov in the future, especially since we know it's Duran who actually does that in the future. And he may have actually had his eye on Stukov for whatever reason, but I'm getting into speculation here. Awesome cutscene! Just a moment. Should be next. Yep.
Zerg! The very mention of this terrifying race once brought fear to all who heard it. But now we can all rest easy, as our own forces now occupy their very homeworld of Char. Months have passed since our initial confrontation with the Zerg, and now Directorate forces have taken control of the planet Char, long since rumored to cradle the malevolent Overmind of the Zerg. The Overmind itself, an enormous living brain-like entity, dictates control of all the myriad Zerg forces, and it was believed to be planning an invasion of the Earth itself. Once on the offensive, our highly trained Directorate forces were more than a match for the beast-like Zerg. Even their fiercest warrior breed could not defeat the greatest military technology in the galaxy. The Zerg forces on Char were completely decimated and their losses were tallied in the millions. But all wars have casualties, and while Directorate losses were minimal, the fleet's Vice Admiral Stukov gave his life during the final valiant assault on Char. Memorial services were held aboard the Directorate flagship Alexander. Vice Admiral Stukov truly knew the meaning of sacrifice. Yet his sacrifice was not in vain. The Overmind itself was the prize of the battle. Even now, Directorate psychics and powerful drugs are keeping the creature pacified. The Overmind will undergo extensive research to ensure the continued safety of the United Earth Directorate and of all mankind.
I love that cutscene. I absolutely love that cutscene. Stukov didn't actually die, Andre. So, couple notes. I mean, most of the symbolism of that cutscene is super obvious. You know, it's the Starship Troopers mega propaganda, right? But I love the way they do it. They deliberately make it sound like no one has been able to deal with the Zerg until we show up. They say it kind of almost passive-aggressively. Once thought to be this terrifying force, the UED was able to, no. So in other words, everyone else wasn't capable of dealing with the Zerg, but we were. Another way to try and engender loyalty amongst the conquered, basically. And what? Hang on just a second. I didn't mute it, did I? Sorry guys, I gotta be right back. I apologize. Here, I'll split the thing for our YouTube viewers. Remind me to hit record again when I come back, guys.